Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth and I make art videos here on YouTube. This is gonna be episode 2 of my Create This Book series. If you don't know what Create This Book is, it's a creative prompt book by Mariah Elizabeth. She wrote the book. She's also a YouTuber here. I can link her channel in the description below. And she also has a whole series on doing the book, and I just find it very enjoyable. So I thought I'd film it, and you can see the first episode on my previous video. Also, one thing to mention, I guess for the people who did watch my last video, is that previously I had tape on the cover, which I removed because I got Mod Podge and put Mod Podge on the cover instead, so it's a bit more matte and finished and it doesn't have that glossy glare. So yeah, that worked pretty well. Can recommend if you also don't like that glare on your cover, if you happen to do this book as well. But yeah, let's jump right in. We're just gonna start out where we left off, which is the following page. It says, create the following lists. Things you like on this side and things you dislike on that side. As you can see, I sketched out my figures already. So I'm actually going to cover this up with gouache, since gouache actually dries matte and I can draw over it with colored pencils. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with the right side. Okay, let's get to it. Alrighty, so for the page with the things that I like, I used purple for the background as it's one of my favorite colors. To cover the bleed-through of the last page, I wanted to use something opaque, yet I wanted to be able to use colored pencils on top, so I chose gouache. By the time I settled on the colors for the chibis, I figured that I'd go for like a lime green on the right page, as it made for a nice contrast. Green isn't my least favorite color, but it's way harder to work with for sure. I finished off the drawings by adding some details with colored pencils and then eventually moved on to writing out my likes and dislikes. I went for 25 likes and 25 dislikes. A few honorable mentions include Animal Crossing, Sparkles, as I'm sure you've noticed, Broccoli, which has a spelling error. It's actually the German way of writing it. Might be controversial that I like broccoli, but I really enjoy the taste. And cold showers, as they make me feel really refreshed. For the dislikes, I'm not so fond of spaghetti, super afraid of horror movies. I have trypophobia, which is the fear of holes. Well, it's not the fear of holes, but it makes me uneasy to see very tiny holes. And also, you might see that I wrote German folk, by which I meant the music type, not the people. I'm German myself, so I just dislike the music and not the people. To seal the pages, I used Mod Podge. On the first 2 pages that I created for this episode, I blow dried them, and unfortunately they stuck together, so the glue actually ripped off a little bit of the writing, so I had to redo it. Thankfully it was only a small patch, but worse enough to annoy me. Create a music-inspired page. Turn on some music, let the music inspire your decorations. Okay, so for this page, I initially planned to draw a Spotify screenshot on the left page. However, given that it turned out like what you see right now, I figured I had to switch it up. But I had actually worked on the screenshot first, so you'll see it while I'm sketching out the character on the right. I chose to portray Michael Clifford from 5 Seconds of Summer here, as he is the main singer for the song Jet Black Heart. I started out by using my color erase pencil, switched to my mechanical pencil in the end though. So after finishing Michael, I moved on to the left side, where I wrote out the first line of the chorus in white pencil first, and then followed up by white gel pen. So as you can see here, I actually went in with this acrylic marker and went over the letters for this one again because I hated the way that it turned out. And then I think this page also needs more contrast, and the award for the best boyfriend goes to mine, apparently, because he bought me this 120 set of Faber-Castell polychromos. It's pretty Gucci. Really like it. There's tons of colors. I mean, 120 to be exact. But I was gonna use the black one to give the other drawing a little bit more life. I might as well just use this one as well to like go back in and give it some more life because it's a little bit lifeless. And we're just gonna try the colors out because I've never drawn with them before, so this is gonna be my first test. Should have probably done that with colorful pencils, but it is what it is. So I basically went over some parts with the black pencil here and there where it needed some like richening of the lines. And as for the background, I first filled the background with hatching and then went in with a paintbrush to blend it a little bit. Unfortunately, now that I've finished the drawing, I still think it needs more contrast. I was at the time a little bit too scared to commit to using a gouache or acrylic paint because I also didn't want to have to deal with the bleed through that could potentially happen, as I've seen it with other pages that I've done, so I just left it as it is. The next page says, create a page of garbage. Draw, photograph, write, or attach a bunch of items that you regularly throw in the garbage. I went for milk cartons and juice boxes here because I found them really aesthetic, and I've seen like a lot of these strawberry milk cartons and I really wanted to draw them. So I sketched out the outlines and I'm gonna color them in with my polychromos since I really want to try them out. And yeah, let's see what I can do. Alrighty, so sorry for the harsh cut here. I first went in with the color erase pencils and lined everything in purple, pink, and blue, which would be like very similar to the colors that I would use eventually. I just wanted to have a really nice colored outline to go in with the polychromos after. I went ahead and swatched some polychromos that I could potentially use and then just went straight in, and let me tell you, the amount of layers this took is absolutely insane. I knew that colored pencils needed layering, but since I never really used them, I was taken by surprise. Other than that, they were really easy to use, very buttery, very creamy, they blended really nicely. I'm just a little upset, I guess, that I couldn't get into the crevice of the book for the life of me. So that part was always a little bit weird to work around, so paint 1, pencil 0. I'm also missing a bit of crisp outline, but since I could have used fine liners, that's on me. But overall, I'm really happy with how this came out, and I don't think it's very bad for a first try. I also decided to give my pages a rating from 1 to 10, so stay tuned until the end to see what I rated each page. Create a pet. Make this page into a pet. Don't forget to give it a name. I have thought long and hard about this page. I first wanted to put my personal pet on here, but then I realized that there's a pet page in this book which tells you to dedicate the page to the pet. So we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do a bunny today. I'll use watercolors on this page, so the drawing is going to go on a separate sheet of paper. You probably also noticed the other bunny drawing on the left. Well, that was my first attempt. That was a little too big to fit on one page, so I had to scrap him, unfortunately. For both drawings, I went on Pinterest and looked up bunnies and found these two that were wearing lilies on their heads, so I decided to draw some more on the right and called him Nibbles. I always wanted to have a pet bunny as a child but never got one, so I'm making my dream come true now. I first blocked in the colors with watercolor, and as you can see, the paper actually soaked up the water. Then when it was dry, I used colored pencils on top to add some more details. Lastly, I made the little name tag and glued it on top. I then cut everything out and glued that into the book as well. And unfortunately, during the repositioning of the left painting, it creased in the middle, so that made me a little sad. I gave it a coat of Mod Podge to hopefully save it, but it didn't. And so that's the end of the bunny drawing, but that also means that we're done with all of the pages that I planned for this week. Alrighty, let's take a look at what we've done today. Starting off with the first page being the things you like and things you dislike page. I actually enjoyed doing this page quite a lot. We got the things I like, things I dislike, a bit of a mishap over here. Overall, would give it a 7 out of 10. Points deducted for the mistakes. But overall, I really like how these chibis came out. Also, by the way, guys, you can let me know which was your favorite page of the book. But moving on to the music-inspired page, out of 10, would maybe give it like a 8. Again, little mistakes every here and there, and I think it still lacks a little bit of contrast, so not extremely happy with it, but it's a page. Then the following page is the garbage page, which is probably my favorite page of the entire episode, because I got to use my new pencils and I think it came out really nicely, especially this straw makes me so happy because I shaded it with the green. So this page does get a 9 out of 10, just because I'm simply not that experienced with colored pencils, and I think I could have done a better job with the shading and add more variety of colors to the page, but other than that, it's a pretty solid page. And then the last page of today's episode is the pet page with my little Nibbles bunny. I really enjoyed doing this, but since it ripped the page or the drawing in the end, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's pretty good. Really cute. I'm glad I went for the other pose as opposed to the first sketch that I had. And yeah, that's it for today. Please let me know which page was your favorite. If you have any supportive feedback on what I can do better, please let me know. I also switched around some of the techniques that I used for like the voiceover and like giving you a little indication for what I did on the page like beforehand. Just let me know what you prefer and I can work on that. And yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoy the series as much as I do. I really hope you have a lovely day, and hopefully we'll see each other in the next one. Bye!